Hello, I'm Gus Downing, publisher and editor of the D&D Daily, and this is the Loss Prevention News Network. We're here today with Rich Mellor, the Senior Advisor, Asset Protection at the NRF, and former Vice President of Loss Prevention for the NRF. Rich has spent over 35 years in the retail loss prevention industry, in senior roles with Helzberg Diamonds, the Bon-Ton department stores, Woodward and Lothrop, and John Wanamaker department stores. Over the last few years, he's been in a rather unique global position and witnessed the retail industry's response to the increase in active shooters. He's played an intricate role with a number of agencies throughout the country in helping to respond to this problem, and from a retailing perspective, can probably talk to it better than anyone in the country right now. With that, we'd like to thank Rich for taking the time.
You're welcome.
Rich, according to the 2013 FBI study, the active shooter events went from approximately one every other month between 2000 and 2008, which was basically 5 a year, to more than one per month between 2009 and 2012, 16 a year, with this increased rate continuing in 2013 with 15 events. The tracking also indicated that there were 72 people shot, 39 killed in 2013, with the trend line for wounded and killed since 2000 showing a definite increase and virtually matching the same rate of increase as the actual number of events over the last 13 years. Regretfully, the study also showed that the primary location of these active shooter events were business locales, retail stores, office buildings, warehouses, factories. About 40% of them happen in these institutions. I mean, with all that information and the fact that this problem appears to be increasing, can you give us an update of where the retail industry is and how the various agencies, city, state, and federal, are responding and helping?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Just want to underscore the gravity of this situation. It's become very severe in the number of, in the frequency of these events. They're capturing the news every day. There is, on the flip side of the news every day, you also have places where they're doing training and drills and exercises and so forth. And they involve a lot of different moving parts when you do that. We at the NRF and the retailers in general have been partnered with the Department of Homeland Security and International Council of Shopping Centers for a number of years, going back a decade really. And that's all about the aftermath, if you will, and how to recover and how can we better, as retailers, prepare for the events. Reality is you're not going to stop them. The nature of the active shooter is one that only law enforcement is going to be able to bring them down. So what's happened over the last 10 years has been progressively getting stronger partnerships through the years with law enforcement and other emergency responders too. There's been a lot of interaction with fire departments and hospital folks that operate emergency rooms and all of that. So the drills, we're pleased. The NRF's played an integral part in building these bridges between law enforcement and the retail side. We get to be the spokespersons at the NRF for the retailers on what we need and what we might need to understand better from the law enforcement side, and they need to understand what the retailers are doing too. And then you get into the mall operations too, so they're a collaborative partner with it. We use the term collaboration throughout pretty much everything that we do in the business anymore, whether it applies to active shooter or organized retail crime, whatever it is, going to need a partner to be able to react to these things quickly, with resolve, and responsibly. As a matter of fact, we at the conference this year, we're putting on an active shooter fast track, as we call it. It's a whole morning dedicated to this topic, and we're going to segment it into the most important pieces of how a retailer gets themselves prepared for this. So we invest a lot of time and a lot of energy, and we do our fair share of outreach to the different organizations. The primary player in helping us put together the active shooter protocols for retail specific has been the Department of Homeland Security. But as you know, we have an advisory council to the National Retail Federation made up of senior leaders in LP, and they help us craft what we need to do to package it out to the retailers. So we do that in the way of seminars and training sessions, and the venue that we have here at our disposal with the annual Loss Prevention Conference. We have it on our agenda every year, and this year we have 3 actual different applications for the active shooter program. So where has it gone recently? And that's an important piece. After the incident tragedy in Nairobi, the FBI became very deeply involved in this because we're now dealing with the terrorist component when that happened in a shopping center. So recently, as recent as October, November timeframe, anticipating the Christmas and holiday season coming, the FBI conducted tabletop exercises around the country in every single FBI headquarters. There are 56 of them across the United States. So they conducted training sessions of which retailers participated. Those emergency responders that we were talking about that need to be in the room and need to understand how to respond, as well as law enforcement folks. They've been involved in it too. So I think that's a major step forward to get the retailers talking about what training programs they have and how they conduct them, and then understanding the police response. One of the things that people need to understand, and that is that the law enforcement folks, when they come in to respond to this, they're not going to stop to render aid to the injured. They're going to take the shooter out. That's what the most important thing is, to stop the damage from being done and the killing from being done. So I think we've progressed to a really good place right now where we have such a partnership going on. And sometimes the news is always good for getting the word out, but oftentimes you get copycats when that happens. So we're dealing with that. When you see that escalation over a 10-year period going up to 15 incidents a year and hundreds of people being killed, it's a very staggering number.
I mean, it appears as though the mall developers have really stepped it up. I mean, constantly in the news, mostly on Sunday evenings, the mall developers are having the exercises and the drills with the local law enforcement folks, and it seems like it's really picked up over the last year or so from that perspective.
You're absolutely right. You know, with all the technology that we have today, we're always getting news bulletins and tracking alerts and so forth. And the number, not a day goes by that you don't see on 1 or 2 of those alerts in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, that these drills are being conducted. Sometimes they're run by the law enforcement folks in the community, and they're coupled with the shopping center security directors and the mall owners as well. So what we're working on now from the retail side is how do we integrate the retail training with the training that's going on with the ICSC. They've been really good. They put out a couple of really good videos just recently. The
International Shopping Center
group. International Council of Shopping Centers. They put out a new training video. It's very to the point. It's very well done, and the NRF is starting to talk about how do we utilize that for the retailers, because they would like us to do that. So it's quite a collaborative effort.
What can we do as an industry to better prepare and help prevent, or respond to such an incident?
What the industry has been doing is been a steady progression of doing more and do more. The communication to the upper level and down through the upper level of the management down to senior level LP executives and so forth is getting a good grasp of what takes place when these events occur, and how do you train your people to have this as a second nature in what they're doing, not reading a manual, not reading instructions. It has to be very easy to understand. Here's what we do. Here's what we do with our customers. Here's what we do with our employees. Have we provided a safe environment for the shelter in place as we talk about it? So retailers are now even looking at how do we fortify a place within their retail stores to give that safety wall or barrier.
Do you ever see any some type of standardized national training for retail employees?
I would say for the near future, I don't see it on the horizon yet. Not that it hasn't been discussed, but I don't see it on the horizon, mainly because each retailer has to customize what they do and how they train their employees, and every retailer looks at it slightly different. They have different capacities for responding to this. They have good equipment, they have good secure facilities, and some do not. You have the kiosk operations right on through to the department stores.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate the time.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Well, that's it for this episode, and I hope it was beneficial for you. As an active shooter incident is the most dangerous situation in retail. And if you have any questions or concerns, please discuss it with your team and your senior leader. Thanks for watching, and let's keep them safe out there.